Hi, I'm Kristen Oaks-White.
And I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
The dairy at the LSU AgCenter's Southeast Research Station in Washington Parish is closing. That's the word from LSU Vice President for Agriculture, Dr. Bill Richardson.
8 years of budget cuts are to blame, and with the state facing a budget shortfall of nearly $1 billion for this fiscal year and about $2 billion for the next, there will not be much love in the legislature when the special session starts on Valentine's Day. This cow is state property and will be sold by the end of June. That's because the LSU AgCenter is closing the dairy at the Southeast Research Station in Franklinton. LSU Vice President for Agriculture, Dr. Bill Richardson, says 8 years of continual budget cuts are to blame.
It became an economic business decision. We just couldn't afford to continue to milk cows with no research going on. That's not what the taxpayers of this state want.
With the closure, Richardson says he will lay off about 15 workers.
Unfortunately, I've had to lay off some people, and that hurts me more than anything else, is having to tell some folks that their jobs will not exist after, throughout the spring.
But it could get much worse. The state of Louisiana faces a $1 billion budget hole this fiscal year. Governor John Bel Edwards called a special session to begin February 14th. That would allow the legislature to pass budget cuts, a 1-cent sales tax that would apply to all purchases except of groceries, prescription drugs, and residential utilities, and to look at removing tax exemptions and exclusions.
In agriculture, we've got to defend our ground when it comes to agricultural inputs like feed, seed, fertilizer, agricultural machinery, and the tax considerations that we have on those. We need to keep those in place so that we remain competitive within the world market as well as within our neighboring states in the United States of America.
If the legislature fails to find that money this fiscal year, Richardson will have to cut a third of the LSU AgCenter's budget by June 30th. Not a third of what's left, but a third of the entire budget. Richardson says there's nothing left to cut after losing 450 employees and $23 million a year over the last 8 years. That'll mean
station closings. There'll be others I'll have to eliminate. I'll have to look at parish offices throughout the state, which are sacred to a lot of those rural legislators. What we have to do to reduce our overhead here in Baton Rouge will be just devastating. And so there's some real difficult times. And so we're there to work with them. We've got to find a way to work through this and to keep our taxpayers happy at the same time. It's going to be a real challenge.
the special legislative session is set to adjourn no later than March 9th. That's just 5 days before the regular session is set to begin. Because this is an even-numbered year, the legislature cannot take up changes to taxes in the regular session. That's why Governor John Bel Edwards had to call a special session to deal with the budget shortfalls. We'll bring you updates from the state capitol and let you know how the decisions made there will impact agriculture throughout the special session.